name is Connie. Welcome back. This is MzansiOz Diary, Justice Unmuted. Today we're going to talk about DA. DA is the Democratic Alliance, is the second biggest party in South Africa following the ANC. It is now in government with the Government of National Unity. And so a few weeks ago, actually, I posted a video about the allegation that the commissioner of KZN made it public to us, the citizens, that the police were in cahoots with the criminals in South Africa. Those allegations led to the current police minister to be put on leave, paid leave. And then the President Ramaphosa appointed a temporary minister of police who was sworn in a couple of days ago, Kachali. Okay, is Kachali? Yes, that's his last name. Now, we're going to talk about DA. DA Minister of Parliament, Glynnis Breytenbach, is actually accusing police commissioner of three things. So Breytenbach says Mkhwanazi should have taken his allegations of police corruption and political interference to parliamentary committee, like the police portfolio committee, not the media. However, I have watched that video in the portfolio committee where the minister of the embattled minister, Nhlanhla Mkhwanazi, was asked about his knowledge of the man called Brown Mkhwanazi. Mkhwanazi did speak about these allegations in that police portfolio committee. And then the Minister of Police was asked if he knew Brown Mkhwanazi. He said no, he didn't know the man.
To be long, but I want to indicate that I've been there before, and we've been there before. That's why even today, the National Commissioner, myself, Jara Kumalo, still regarded as the bad ones. It was no surprise, Honorable Chair and members, when I heard from the media asking me about the letter to withdraw the political task team. I just laughed it off because Section 207 gave me a mandate and responsibility to do policing in this program. Now, if there's an instruction that is going to interfere with operations of the South African Police Service, for me, it will be perceived as a defeating edge of justice. So therefore, I'll need to put very close attention on that. And because I wondered what could have informed. I phoned the National Commission was on leave at the time when the letter was written, allegedly, and he didn't know anything about it. But there was an instruction, and assumingly now we heard today that it was a directive because I had not received it as a provincial commission. When the provincial management had asked me about it, the provincial leadership executive, I told them that the political team is pretty much active and they're working, they're doing their work. And any other person who gave me instruction otherwise can do only the National Commissioner and nobody else but the National Commissioner of South African Police Service, because he's my boss. If he tells me I must change his policing tactics into something else, I shall do so as a disciplined police officer. But we've been working, Chair, and this task team have gone beyond the borders of KwaZulu-Natal, have gone to the Gauteng province. There's a case that they are assisting investigating in Gauteng, the case that involves very senior police officers, who some of them might be in this platform that you are in right now. And that is part of what is causing the chaos in the South African Police Service. So, Honorable Chair, I'm going to leave it there. And that is basically why I was then making a reference on what is transpiring now to that what happened in 2011, where bad police officers are using politicians to try and get their ways around. So that is my submission, Chair. Thanks so much.
Thank you very much, General Mkhwanazi. General Masemola and Minister Mkhunu, would you like to respond in any way? Or not in terms of General Mkhwanazi, but I mean, any further response? General, I'm getting confused with Minister and General now. Minister, Over to you.
I picked up something that Provincial Commissioner Mkhwanazi is saying about some fellow. 2 weeks ago, it does happen in a week or 2 or 3. I think a week and a half ago, I got somebody insisting that there's somebody who's going around saying he works with me wherever I am, he is there. And I said, show me the face. And it got to a point where he showed me the face, and I told him, I don't know this person. And a week before, there was another person, Mkhunu, who said is my younger brother. My younger brother died in 2005, and I don't have any other. And so when the person says so, you really, so I think we must be very circumspect when people come to us and say, I must be an associate of this and that. I'm no associate to the person that General Mkhwanazi is referring to. But I appreciate whatever they discussed and then those things coming out so that I understand who is saying what, where, and so on.
Parliament did not in that. So here comes the DA member of parliament saying that Mkhwanazi, by having held that press conference, that bombshell press conference, was wrong for making these allegations of police corruption and political interference to the public, not the parliament. But he had actually said this before in parliament, but they follow up on that. And then later he made it in a conference, media conference. Then another thing that Glynnis Breytenbach, the DA minister, is accusing Nhlanhla Mkhwanazi of is that he wore the police combat gear, the combat uniform, a combat uniform, and appeared with armed, masked officers. She says this presentation style with full tactical gear and visible automatic weapons made it look like a coup loading rather than a lawful press briefing. The third thing that the DA, Dennis Breytenbach, is alleging that Mkhwanazi was wrong about is that he thinks that Nhlanhla Mkhwanazi, who is a police commissioner, bypassed proper institutional channels. The Breytenbach MP, DA MP, implies that Mkhwanazi undermined procedure and accountability by not following internal or legislative reporting lines. This is really problematic, or it's so problematic, this thing with the DA versus Nhlanhla Mkhwanazi. It's so many levels. Now, the parliament and the police structure have ignored this. As I said, have ignored this because Nhlanhla Mkhwanazi said this in a parliament when in that parliament, the minister of the then minister, embattled minister of police, Senzo Mchunu, was asked about this about this knowledge of Brown Mkhosi, who was also in communication with our main man, Vusimuzi Cat Matlala. He was asked about his communication with Brown Mkhosi, who is linked to Vusimuzi Cat Matlala, and they both had some exchange, WhatsApp exchange with this man called Vusimuzi Cat Matlala. He was asked of his knowledge. He then said no, he did not know Brown Mkhosi. He denied knowing Brown Mkhosi. So, Parliament have ignored or suppressed whistleblowers' concerns for years, including those tied to Babita Deokaran's murder. Mkhwanazi's press conference was seen by many as an act of public accountability after internal reporting allegedly failed. Like I said, he did talk about it in Parliament, and it looks like these people selectively listen. They do not pay attention, but the public is paying for them to work. When you go back to that video that in that Parliament and listen to all the entire speech of Mkhwanazi in that Parliament when he was talking, he talked about this then. All right, there's some of the things that he didn't connect, but they were really serious concerns that he raised then. But they failed to follow up on that. Then, calling it a coup, it's a problem, very much a problem. I have a problem with the coup because it really shifts attention away from the criminal syndicate he exposed. Like I said, the same people who are out there condemning Dudula and March on March are actually shifting the attention away from the criminal syndicates that has infiltrated the public health system in South Africa, and the people who are pretending to be patients that are doctor shopping for specific medication, including Schedule 8 medication that gets exported elsewhere, including Zimbabwe. So they don't address that issue. They address people who are wanting to make sure that people who are presenting to these hospitals have the correct identifications for follow-up, and also to ensure they're identifiable in the system, and to make sure that they're not going to go out and be doctor shopping within the clinics. Because if their identification is being issued by Home Affairs, South Africa's Home Affairs, it'd be easy for some other clinics to be able to identify them, to be notified. But they are attacking the group that's trying to do the best to protect the South African public system, mainly in the Black community. These things happen in 100% in the Bantustan apartheid township, South Africa. So the same DA minister is calling the act of Nhlanhla Mkhwanazi for exposing this in that press conference that as a coup. It actually shifts the entire criminal syndicates he exposed, and maybe perceived as a protecting political elites. So Breytenbach's complaint really is that Mkhwanazi spoke too loud, too public, and too dramatically. The real issue, he exposed something Parliament hasn't, and that makes some people uncomfortable. And the question we should now ask, why is DA so uncomfortable about this? Uncomfortable that Nhlanhla Mkhwanazi went public, should not have gone public. They claim, the DA, Glynnis Breytenbach, it says that Nhlanhla Mkhwanazi should not have gone public. Because he came to the press conference with this combat gear, looked like a coup loading. But there is very serious concerns that people like Babita Deokaran, the whistleblower who blew the lid, quietly and followed those channels, exposing the 850 million rand in healthcare fraud, was assassinated 3 weeks later. She died in silence. She followed protocol. She died in silence. And there comes DA Minister Glynnis Breytenbach to say these should not have been made public, should have followed correct channel. So public wouldn't be aware of these allegations. So should Nhlanhla Mkhwanazi be silenced just like Babita Deokaran? How can she make such a statement knowing the fate of Babita Deokaran? How can she make this? How can we so be comfortable that the DA is not part of this, of who is Vusimuzi cat? Matlala. Mkhwanazi, the police commissioner, went public. Now they want to silence him. The truth doesn't always wear a tire. Sometimes it wears a bulletproof vest.